What if I told you that your thoughts aren't just floating around in your head, but are actually weaving themselves into the fabric of reality itself? There's something extraordinary happening right beneath your awareness every single moment, something that could completely transform how you experience life. Scientists have discovered that at the deepest level of existence, reality operates in ways that would make your head spin. Particles dance between dimensions, information travels faster than light, and most incredibly, consciousness itself seems to be the director of this cosmic symphony. Today, we're diving into the hidden power of quantum thoughts and how your mind might be orchestrating reality in ways you never imagined possible. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could shift everything you thought you knew about manifestation, consciousness, and your true potential. For generations, we've been taught that our minds are separate from the world around us, that thoughts are just electrical impulses bouncing around inside our skulls, completely cut off from external reality. But what if that's the biggest lie we've ever been told? What if your thoughts aren't trapped inside your head, but are actually quantum fields of energy that ripple through the universe, creating waves of possibility that shape what you experience? Recent breakthroughs in quantum consciousness research are revealing something extraordinary. Your thoughts operate on quantum principles. They exist in multiple states simultaneously until the moment you focus on them, at which point they collapse into specific realities. This isn't New Age wishful thinking. This is cutting-edge science that's rewriting everything we know about the mind-reality connection. Think about this for a moment. Every thought you've ever had has been a quantum event, a moment where infinite possibilities condensed into a specific outcome. And here's where it gets really interesting. If your thoughts follow quantum mechanics, then they're not bound by the same limitations as classical physics. They can influence reality instantaneously, regardless of distance or time. Dr. Stuart Hameroff and Roger Penrose have proposed that consciousness itself emerges from quantum processes in the brain. Their research suggests that your thoughts are literally quantum computations happening in structures called microtubules within your neurons. These quantum processes don't just create your conscious experience, they may actually be connecting your mind to a vast field of quantum information that underlies all of reality. But here's the key insight that changes everything. Most people are completely unconscious of the quantum nature of their thoughts. They're broadcasting random, chaotic signals into the quantum field, creating contradictory patterns that keep them stuck in limitation. But what if you could learn to harness the quantum power of your thoughts consciously? What if you could train your mind to generate coherent quantum signatures that align with the reality you actually want to create? This is where the hidden power of quantum thoughts becomes practical and life-changing. Your subconscious mind processes over 11 million bits of information per second, while your conscious mind only handles about 40. That means 99.9% of your mental processing is happening below your awareness, and all of that subconscious activity is generating quantum thought patterns that are constantly shaping your reality. The problem is that most of our subconscious programming was installed when we were children, when we didn't have the cognitive ability to filter what was true or useful. So we're walking around with quantum thought patterns that were created by a 5-year-old's understanding of the world. Is it any wonder that so many people struggle to create the life they actually want? But here's the incredible part. Because thoughts operate on quantum principles, you can shift your entire reality instantaneously. You don't have to slowly reprogram your subconscious over months or years. You can create quantum leaps by learning to work with the quantum nature of consciousness itself. Let me explain how this works at the deepest level. In quantum mechanics, there's something called the observer effect. The act of observation literally changes the behavior of quantum particles. Before observation, particles exist in what's called superposition, where they exist in all possible states simultaneously. But the moment a conscious observer looks at them, they collapse into a single, definite state. Now think about what this means for your thoughts. Your consciousness is constantly observing your internal mental states, your beliefs about reality, your expectations about the future. And just like particles in a physics lab, these mental states are collapsing from infinite possibility into specific realities based on what you're observing and expecting. Most people are unconsciously observing limitation, scarcity, fear, and struggle. So that's what their quantum thoughts are collapsing into reality. But when you understand this process consciously, you can deliberately observe abundance, possibility, success, and joy. You can train your consciousness to collapse quantum thoughts into the realities you actually want to experience. This is why meditation and mindfulness practices are so powerful. When you develop the ability to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them, you're literally developing quantum consciousness skills. You're learning to work with the observer effect in a way that serves your highest good. But we can go even deeper than this. Quantum field theory suggests that all particles and forces in the universe emerge from underlying quantum fields. These fields exist everywhere simultaneously and contain infinite potential energy. What if your thoughts are actually tapping into these quantum fields? What if every time you think, you're drawing energy and information from a vast ocean of quantum potential? This would explain phenomena that mainstream science struggles to understand. How do people sometimes know things they have no logical way of knowing? How do profound insights and breakthrough ideas suddenly appear in consciousness? How do people sometimes experience miraculous healings or life transformations that seem to defy conventional understanding? The answer might be that consciousness itself is a quantum field phenomenon. Your individual mind isn't separate from the universal field of consciousness. It's a localized expression of it, like a wave on the surface of an infinite ocean. And when you learn to align your personal quantum thoughts with the deeper patterns in the universal field, extraordinary things become possible. This is where practical quantum consciousness techniques become essential. You need to learn how to generate coherent quantum thought patterns that resonate with the frequencies of what you want to create. This isn't about positive thinking or visualization in the traditional sense. It's about working directly with the quantum mechanics of consciousness. Here's a fundamental technique that can shift your reality immediately. It's called quantum coherence meditation. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Instead of trying to think positive thoughts, do the opposite. Let your mind become completely empty and still. In this state of mental silence, you're allowing your consciousness to settle into quantum coherence, where all your mental energy becomes synchronized and focused. From this coherent state, instead of visualizing what you want, feel into the quantum field of infinite possibility that exists right now. Sense that everything you could ever desire already exists as potential in this field. Then, from this feeling of infinite possibility, allow a clear intention to emerge naturally. Don't force it. Let it arise spontaneously from the quantum field itself. This is how you align your personal quantum thoughts with the deeper intelligence of the universe. You're not trying to impose your will on reality. You're allowing your consciousness to synchronize with the natural flow of quantum creation. But there's another level to this that most people never discover. Your quantum thoughts don't just influence your personal reality. They're constantly interacting with other consciousness fields, creating collective realities. This is why certain ideas seem to emerge simultaneously in different people around the world. It's why social movements can suddenly reach tipping points. It's why entire cultures can shift their worldview relatively quickly. Your individual quantum thoughts are part of a vast network of interconnected consciousness. When you learn to generate coherent, high-frequency thought patterns, you're not just changing your personal reality, you're contributing to positive shifts in the collective consciousness field that we all share. This gives your personal development work a much deeper meaning. Every time you consciously evolve your quantum thoughts, you're helping to elevate the consciousness of the entire planet. You're becoming a positive influence in the quantum field that connects all minds. Now let's talk about how to practically apply this understanding to create specific changes in your life. The key is to work with what quantum physicists call entanglement. When particles become quantumly entangled, they remain connected regardless of distance. A change in one particle instantly affects its entangled partner, even if they're on opposite sides of the universe. Your thoughts can become quantumly entangled with future realities. This happens when you generate quantum thought patterns that perfectly match the frequency of what you want to create. It's not about hoping or wishing. It's about achieving quantum resonance between your current consciousness and your desired reality. Here's how to create quantum entanglement with your goals. First, identify something you want to manifest in your life. Instead of thinking about it as something you don't have, recognize that it already exists as a potential in the quantum field. Your job isn't to create it from nothing. Your job is to become quantumly entangled with the version of reality where it already exists. Enter a meditative state and sense into the quantum field of infinite possibility. Feel around until you can sense the frequency of the reality where your desired outcome already exists. This might feel like a subtle shift in energy, a different quality of aliveness, or even specific emotions and sensations. Once you can feel this frequency clearly, begin to resonate with it. Let your entire being vibrate at the same frequency. This creates quantum entanglement between your current state of consciousness and your desired reality. Once this entanglement is established, changes in your consciousness will instantly influence that future reality, and changes in that reality will influence your current experience. You'll start noticing synchronicities, opportunities, and insights that guide you toward the manifestation of what you're entangled with. But here's a crucial point that most manifestation teachings miss. Your quantum thoughts are constantly being influenced by your emotional state. Emotions aren't just feelings. They're quantum energy signatures that determine what frequencies your thoughts can access in the quantum field. When you're in states of fear, anger, or depression, your emotional field can only access quantum frequencies that match those vibrations. This is why it's so hard to manifest positive changes when you're stuck in negative emotional patterns. Your emotions are literally limiting which quantum realities your thoughts can become entangled with. This is why emotional mastery is essential for advanced consciousness work. You need to learn how to generate elevated emotional states at will. Not fake positivity, but genuine states of joy, gratitude, love, and excitement. These emotional frequencies unlock access to higher dimensional quantum fields where miraculous possibilities exist. One of the most powerful techniques for elevating your emotional frequency is called quantum heart coherence. Place your attention in your heart center and begin breathing slowly and deeply. As you breathe, generate a feeling of sincere appreciation for something in your life. Feel this appreciation as a warm, expanding energy in your heart. Once you can maintain this heart-coherent state, begin radiating this appreciative energy out into the quantum field around you. Imagine it expanding like ripples on a pond, touching and harmonizing with the quantum frequencies of everything you desire. This creates a coherent field around you that attracts experiences that match your elevated emotional state. The key is to practice this until you can access heart coherence instantly, regardless of external circumstances. When you master your emotional frequency, you master your ability to access different levels of quantum reality. Now let's explore one of the most advanced applications of quantum consciousness. What if you could use your quantum thoughts to access information from future versions of yourself? In quantum mechanics, time isn't linear like we normally think. All moments exist simultaneously in what's called the eternal now. Past, present, and future are simply different locations in a multi-dimensional space. This means that future versions of yourself who have already accomplished your goals exist right now in parallel quantum realities. And because consciousness isn't bound by classical physics, you can actually communicate with these future selves and receive guidance, insights, and energy from them. Here's a technique for accessing quantum future self-guidance. Enter a deep meditative state and set the intention to connect with the version of yourself who has already achieved a specific goal. Don't try to visualize this future self. Instead, simply open your awareness and wait for a subtle shift in consciousness. You might suddenly feel different emotions, have new insights, or sense a different quality of confidence and certainty. This is your future self's consciousness temporarily merging with your current awareness. From this state, you can ask for guidance about what steps to take, what beliefs to adopt, or what actions would be most aligned with manifesting your desired reality. The information you receive might come as direct knowing, emotional guidance, or even specific visions and ideas. The key is to trust what comes through and take action based on this guidance. This creates a quantum feedback loop between your present and future selves that accelerates your manifestation timeline exponentially. But quantum consciousness work isn't just about getting what you want. It's about discovering who you really are at the deepest level. When you learn to work consciously with quantum thought patterns, you begin to realize that your individual consciousness is actually an expression of a universal consciousness field that underlies all existence. This universal consciousness is what mystics have called God, Brahman, the Tao, or Source. But from a quantum perspective, it's simply the fundamental field of awareness and potential from which all realities emerge. Your personal consciousness isn't separate from this universal field. It's a localized pattern within it, like a wave in an infinite ocean of awareness. As you develop your quantum consciousness abilities, you naturally begin to identify less with your separate self and more with this universal consciousness. This shift in identity is profoundly liberating because you realize that you're not a small, separate being trying to get things from a hostile universe. You are the universe expressing itself through a unique focal point of awareness. From this expanded identity, manifestation becomes effortless because you're not trying to get anything from outside yourself. You're simply rearranging the patterns of your own consciousness to express different potentials that already exist within you. This is the ultimate secret of quantum manifestation. It's not about attracting things from outside yourself. It's about realizing that everything exists within your own expanded consciousness. This understanding completely transforms how you approach personal development and spiritual growth. Instead of trying to fix or improve yourself, you focus on removing the mental barriers that prevent you from recognizing your true nature as universal consciousness expressing itself uniquely. These barriers are usually unconscious beliefs and emotional patterns that create the illusion of separation. They make you feel like you're separate from the universe, separate from other people, and separate from the things you desire. But from a quantum consciousness perspective, separation is just an illusion created by limited awareness. As you dissolve these illusory barriers through conscious quantum thought work, you naturally begin to experience more synchronicity, flow, and effortless manifestation in your life. This isn't because you're getting better at manipulating reality. It's because you're removing the internal obstacles that were preventing the natural abundance and intelligence of the universe from flowing through you. The ultimate goal of quantum consciousness development isn't to become powerful or special. It's to realize that power and specialness are your natural state when you're aligned with your true identity as universal consciousness. From this recognition, you become a clear channel for the highest potentials to manifest through you for the benefit of all beings. This is how quantum consciousness work becomes a path of service. As you develop your ability to work consciously with quantum thought patterns, you become more effective at manifesting solutions to collective challenges. You become a positive force in the quantum field that connects all consciousness, contributing to the elevation and healing of our entire species. We live in a time when humanity desperately needs individuals who can access and anchor higher dimensional frequencies of consciousness. The challenges we face as a species require solutions that come from beyond our current level of thinking. They require access to quantum levels of intelligence and creativity that most people haven't learned to tap into. By developing your quantum consciousness abilities, you're not just improving your personal life. You're developing capacities that the world desperately needs. You're becoming someone who can access innovative solutions, hold space for healing and transformation, and anchor higher frequencies of love and wisdom in the collective field. This gives profound meaning and purpose to your consciousness development work. Every quantum thought you learn to generate consciously, every limiting belief you dissolve, every moment you spend in coherent heart frequencies is contributing to the positive evolution of human consciousness as a whole. So as we reach the end of our exploration today, I want to leave you with this understanding. Your thoughts aren't just personal mental events happening inside your head. They're quantum fields of creative potential that are constantly shaping reality at the most fundamental level. When you learn to work consciously with the quantum nature of thought, you unlock abilities that most people consider impossible. You can manifest desired outcomes with increasing ease and speed. You can access guidance and insight from expanded states of consciousness. You can contribute to positive changes in the collective consciousness field. And most importantly, you can discover your true identity as universal consciousness, expressing itself uniquely through your individual awareness. The hidden power of quantum thoughts isn't just a fascinating concept. It's a practical reality that you can begin working with immediately. Every time you enter a meditative state, every time you consciously choose elevated emotions, every time you align your awareness with your highest potential, you're working with quantum consciousness principles. The question isn't whether this is true or not. The question is how far you're willing to explore the extraordinary capacities that are already present within your consciousness right now. Your quantum thoughts are waiting for you to discover them. The only question is, are you ready to unlock their hidden power and transform your reality from the inside out?